Pixar revived my friends. The new Inside Out 2 movie is a hit among fans, and many of us are excited about the future of the saga. But how good is the movie? Is it really as great as they say? We will find out. Today on Charlietales, we will analyze the good and the bad of the movie. As always, I warn you that this video contains spoilers, so you are forewarned. Ready? Let's go. My first good point is the new emotions. The movie introduces us to 4 new emotions: anxiety, boredom, envy, and shame. These represent the new emotional spectrum of Riley, who has entered puberty. Without hesitation, I can say that these new emotions are quite charismatic and connect well with the film's plot. The movie tells us how Riley has grown up and is no longer a child. She has to face puberty, along with all the changes and emotional challenges that it entails. To achieve this goal, the movie presents new emotions that quite well represent the typical problems of youth. Anxiety has more prominence, since during adolescence we all suffer from insecurities, and one of our biggest enemies is the idea of what will happen. Anxiety represents this natural fear of young people, as it is an emotion that seeks to prevent future problems. Riley's plot revolves around how her friends change schools, and she does everything possible to fit into a new social group. Anxiety would inevitably be part of the equation. Additionally, in the end, we see Riley suffer a rather severe anxiety attack, which is a common possibility for teenagers, and people in general who are under a lot of pressure. But the other emotions also tell us a lot about the youthful mentality. Envy is a rather cute girl who wants to have what others possess. Concepts such as the desire to have more begin to form in adolescence, and envy well represents this idea. We have all felt envy, be it good or bad envy. I also like shame quite a lot. It is a very common emotion in teenagers, as they are people who are trying to face the world. For them, it is very complex to dare to do things since they have not yet fully formed their personality. It is normal for a teenager to feel shame and fear of expressing their desires or emotions. Even being a very intelligent young person, shame is always there. That is why this emotion is represented as someone large, with great physical strength, but fearful. And lastly, we have boredom, who does not do much, but still makes sense in the story, since teenagers also go through those stages where everything seems indifferent to them, and they are not interested in things. I think the choice of these emotions is well done. They are not random emotions put there to fill in. Young audiences can genuinely identify with these ideas, and parents of teenagers can also see many aspects of their children in these emotions. But now let's move on to my second good point, the message. The movie conveys a message of self-acceptance, not only of the good things, but also of the bad. People are not black or white. Rather, we navigate through shades of gray in our lives. Good memories are important to us, but bad ones are too. I think the movie delivers a very appropriate message for these generations. If we look at movies I saw in my childhood, the message was simpler. There are bad people in life, but the important thing is to be one of the good ones, and that's it. It was not so common to explore our own flaws and the capacity to fail. In Inside Out, they dare to deliver a more complex message in which Riley must accept that the bad parts of her life are also part of her. No one is perfect, and we all make mistakes. Anxiety represents that need. Many of us have to avoid making mistakes, but the movie teaches us that it is okay to make mistakes. What is important is to rectify. Many of us make mistakes and even do bad things. It is normal. We are human. Riley at some point treats her friends badly and even misbehaves with her teammates. She does wrong things, like sneaking into her teacher's office. She does bad things. It's part of life. But what is important is to learn from those mistakes. Riley is a normal person, like you and me. She is good, but sometimes not so much. She is smart and friendly, but also apathetic or even ungrateful. She is a more real teenager and less of a caricature. Another important message is that we do not always get what we want, and that is okay. The movie suggests that Riley wants to be part of the hockey team with all her might. She is good, works hard, and deserves it. But real life is more complex. In the end, everyone in the movie understands this and tells us that it would be great to join the team. But if she doesn't, it's not the end of the world either. This message seems very healthy for today's youth. In my generation, the idea of meritocracy was more common. You must fight to be number one, and if you fail, it is because you did not try hard enough. But the reality is that sometimes things simply do not work out, and it is not necessarily your fault. Riley understands this, and the message can serve today's youth. We do not know if Riley made it to the hockey team. The movie does not tell us, but at this point, it is not the most important thing. Life is bigger than that, and failing is not the end of the world. I think the movie, in general, conveys good lessons for both young people and adults. For parents, these stories also help us understand our children better and improve our way of educating them. In that sense, Pixar does a great job with Inside Out 2, and I applaud it. But now let's move on to my bad point about the movie, the repeated formula. The movie has a good story, but repeats the formula of the first installment without any reservations. In the first film, the plot was about how Joy wanted to protect Riley by monopolizing the control board. That is why she hid sadness, with the aim that Riley would never feel that emotion. But in the end, she learned that all emotions are important, and that Riley needs sadness as much as joy. Well, in this second film, it's the same. Joy decides that the best thing for Riley is to create a belief system only with positive memories. And every negative memory is hidden, so that Riley does not have to deal with it. But at the end of the movie, Joy understands that Riley needs all her memories to be a complete person, and that things cannot be hidden from her mind. It's the same, my friends. The same plot, the same main problem, and the same resolution. The only important variable is that in the second movie, they include the subplot of Anxiety's mutiny. But even the anxiety plot is identical to what I mentioned. She wants to monopolize everything because she believes that Riley can live only with anxiety. But in the end, she also discovers that Riley needs all her emotions to function well. The movie repeats the formula not once but twice, and it feels quite noticeable. The plot is still quite functional, and a lot is learned from this story, but I would have liked something a little different. This is not uncommon for Pixar. Let's remember that in the Toy Story trilogy, the three movies are based on the same idea of the lost toys trying to get home. They like to repeat ideas, and I fear that the third Inside Out movie might do the same. This is not entirely bad, but it does reduce the possibilities for stories. In conclusion, Inside Out 2 is an excellent movie. It has good characters, an interesting plot, and fun moments. The plot is not the most original, but it still works. For me, it is a totally recommended movie. But anyway, that's all for today. If you liked the video, you would help me a lot by leaving a like. That would be legendary. Also remember to subscribe because I'll be uploading more videos about your favorite movies. Thanks for listening. My name is Charlie, and I'll see you in the future.